This is Spud here from HitStandNow.com, coming at you with another quick hit. Over the last week or two, the IESF, or International Esports Federation, have been themselves in a wee bit of hot water, wee bit of at least lukewarm water, over quote-unquote sexist comments lately. It appears that the IESF have been running gender-specific tournaments now for a little while. So men will compete in one tournament and women will compete in a completely and utterly different tournament. So they won't butt heads, they won't be crossing each other's paths, they won't be fighting or playing each other at all. Men will only fight and play against men, women will only fight and play against women. This seems to be across the board, whether it be the likes of, say, Street Fighter or Tekken or whatever the case may be, or StarCraft, Dota 2, Hearthstone. The list seems to go on, but it's all separated into men and women's tournaments, which seems fucking mental to me, to be perfectly honest. It seems really bizarre that anyone would even think that was a good idea. I believe that men and women should jam together in the same tournaments, because why the hell shouldn't they? You know, we look at video games and eSports, if you will, and let's look at them separately from actual sports for a moment, because the likes of, say we're playing a game of Tekken, for example, you can pick anybody in a game of Tekken. Your actual physical physique in real life has absolutely nothing to do with the character you choose in game. Huge burly lads can pick little women like, say, Jun Kazama, and play her. Tiny women in real life, for example, could pick big burly lads in the game like Paul Phoenix. You don't have to pick people who look like you. You don't have to pick people who are the same sex as you. You don't have to pick people who are anything like you. Shit, in Tekken, you can pick a fucking bear. It's not even the same species as you. You know what I mean? So, why separate men and women up? I have no idea. Because their physical physiques have nothing to do with their in-game persona. In the likes of, say, football or rugby or any other real-world sport I can think of off the top of my head, separating men and women seems fair enough. It makes sense. You know what I mean? Men are usually slightly larger than women. Therefore, they kind of have the physical upper hand. So you get women to play against women in sport, and you get men to play against men. That makes sense to me. But all that goes out the window when you can choose what you want in game. When the only part of your body is really important, apart from your eyes and your brain and the rest, is your hands. And the size of your hands doesn't matter a shit, man. It really doesn't. So, why separate them? Like, I play Mortal Kombat competitively. I also play a little bit of competitive Street Fighter. So, I'm a relatively big dude. I'm a fucking hairy metalhead, you know what I mean? In those games, though, I pick Katana over in Mortal Kombat, and I pick Kami over in Street Fighter, sometimes E-Honda. I'm nothing like any of these characters. I'm not a sumo wrestler. I'm not a camouflage-clad lady that doesn't weigh a damn thing. I'm certainly not the princess of the realm of beauty. I'm the complete fucking opposite. But once you jump in game, you can be anybody you want. You can be anything you want. It doesn't matter if you're a man, a woman, a kid. Look at there 2 years ago at one of those national gaming leagues over in America, when a guy called Curblicious came along, slagging everybody off, saying that he could take down all the big boys who played Mortal Kombat, and that he was better than them. They said, put your money where your mouth is. Curblicious did exactly that. He put his money where his mouth is. He broke out Johnny Cage and not only beat most of these boys, he flawlessed a bunch of them and beat Alaki and another bunch, which is an insult to injury. Who was this guy? Some 16-year-old. Your age doesn't even fucking matter. You know what I mean? This guy's still in school, like, you know what I mean? He's beating all the big players because in-game it's completely different from real life. So, there's been a lot of backlash towards the IESF because of this, and rightly fucking so. You know, so the International Esports Federation said that the reason they're doing this is so, they said two things. One of the things was that they didn't want, they wanted to avoid conflict. Now, why there'd be any form of conflict just because one sex beat another? I should be. I believe everybody should take their kickings the same as everybody else. You know what I mean? I think if you get beaten by a girl, it doesn't matter because you got beaten. If you get beaten by a boy, it doesn't matter because you got beaten. You go home, you walk in a game. It's irrelevant who beat you. You know? But they said, yeah, one was to avoid that, which silly statement, and got a lot of slating for it online, and good enough too. The other was because they want to make esports, they're trying to get them in accordance to the real sports rules. Now, this is the other thing I personally have an issue with, because I don't think esport is sport. Not at all, not even a little bit. Now, I'm not a sports fan, I'll be honest. The World Cup is on at the moment, I couldn't give two shits in a fuck. I really couldn't. It's not for me, I'm not a sports fan. According to a couple of online dictionaries, the definition of sport is an activity involving physical exertion and skill in which an individual or team competes against another or others for entertainment. And I can see why esports fits into that. You're talking physical skill, mostly beating your hands, and your reaction times, you know, knowing the game, of course, and playing against the others for the crack, for a bit of cash, for the entertainment, those watching. Grant, it makes sense. But to me, it doesn't. Personally, I don't think that statement, that dictionary statement, is entirely accurate. I personally disagree with it. Because in my eyes, sport is something that's performed by athletes. Physically robust men and women. Athletes, people who train every day, can run around the fucking block 15 million times, you know. They're in the prime of their life, they're fit and they're ready to go. You know what I mean? I don't think gamers are like that. I never think to myself, gamer and athlete being the same thing. You know, you ask me to run the length of a football field, and I'm screwed, man. I'm dead. I'm out for the day. Carry me home in a stretcher. And a lot of other gamers are the same. You know, I once heard a quote that said that gamers had the reaction time of fighter jet pilots, but the lung capacity of a 10-year-old sounds about right to me. You know, this goes across the board if you ask me. You know, there are a lot of sports out there that I don't consider sports. Darts, for example. Formula One. Chess. You know, these aren't things that you need to be fit and ready for. You know what I mean? Darts, for example. Look at darts. They chill out and have a couple of pints while they're playing. You know, these men aren't athletes. They've got beer bellies, for God's sake. You know, F1, you're not doing the walk, the car is. Chess, you're kicking back, you're relaxing. It's turn by turn. You know, gamers are not athletes. Therefore, if you ask me, games are not sports. You know, are they competitive? Yes. Are they competition? Yes. Do they need a high level of skill and a high level of, say, reaction times? Yes. You know, do you really have to train and be good at what you do? Fuck yeah, if you want to succeed. Of course you do. But it's still not a sport. It's not physical. You know, it's actually quite relaxing. Okay, it can get intense, but you're sitting on a chair, you're kicking back. You know what I mean? This doesn't seem like sport to me. It really, really doesn't. It seems like the complete opposite. But that's another day's work. As opposed to gender-separated tournaments, I don't think this should be a thing. I think the eSports Federation should rethink this immediately and sort it out so everybody plays together. You know, And they should also, instead of trying to make this a real sport, why not try and make it something else? Video games and sports are different, so let's just accept that and call video games something else. Let's not refer to it as eSports. Let's have another name for it. Let's have a completely different ball game for it. Let's invent something from the ground up. Why the hell not? Why does it have to be a sport? Horseshit, man. Absolute horseshit. This is Spud from hitstartnow.com, signing off. Good luck. Thanks for watching more about hitstartnow.com Quick Hits. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe and share. You might enjoy some of the other video gaming goodness on this very channel. You can also get us at hitstartnow.com, where we have written reviews, written blogs and our infamous monthly podcast. Of course, we've also got at hitstartnow on Twitter and hitstartnow on Facebook, all of which will be linked down below. Thank you very much.